Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Daddy's Barbecue Pit. This week, we're going to show you how we make butter beans and rice. Stick around. Okay, so to start this recipe, we got 4 stalks of celery that we're just going to dice up. Split them in half. This is really a simple recipe that Michelle's Graham actually taught me. Really, beans are a real big staple down south. Eat them with rice, or you just eat them alone. This recipe I changed a little bit. I like adding some ham directly to it in the form of diced ham. Give it a little bit more flavor. Plus it adds a protein to it. So we're just going to chop that up. We're going to do half this onion. This is really simple. It does take time. A lot of people soak their beans overnight. That's not something that she taught me. She just, cooks them the day of right in the chicken stock. So it's pretty simple. Just takes a little bit of time. Real good flavor, very hearty dish. Now we're going to come over here to our Dutch oven and we're going to saute these along with some of the ham, do up some seasoning, and add in our stock and our bean. Okay, so we got a little bit of olive oil getting hot here in our cast iron pot. We're just going to go ahead and add these to the Dutch oven, sauteing a little bit. We're going to hit it with a little pepper and just a pinch of salt, because we are adding, with the ham hocks that we're going to be boiling, we don't want to add too much salt. There's already going to be plenty of salt coming from the smoked cured ham hocks. So we got some Creole Seasonings, Adderans we're throwing on. We're also going to use our buddy there, the Cajun two-step stale cracker. You can use any Cajun seasoning or any Creole seasoning. And just like we did on our last video, the jambalaya, we're just going to be building layers of flavor. So we're going to let these go until they just start to get a little soft and translucent. And we're going to add in our ham. Okay, so we have some very small diced ham that we're putting in here. You can buy a ham steak, chop your own up if you'd like. Break it up. We're going to let this brown a little bit. Hit it with a little more of that two-step. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our smoked ham hocks. Get them into the pot. And then we're going to add our large lima beans. Again, you can soak these overnight if you wish. I don't wish. We're going to use almost that whole bag. Now to that, we're going to add about 8 cups of chicken stock initially. We'll add more if need be. I typically do my red beans and rice the same way. When I make them, only instead of ham, I'll add some of our smoked sausage in with it. Goes really well with it. Quick story, when Michelle's Graham and grandfather were hit by Hurricane Katrina back in 2005, I went down there for 2 weeks to help them clean up. And their home was devastated. But I ate red beans and rice for 2 weeks straight every day for lunch, because that's what the American Red Cross was bringing around to everybody that was helping clean up. So needless to say, for about 2 years after that, I didn't eat any red beans and rice. So we're going to bring this up to a simmer, and then we're going to cover it and we're going to let it just cook until those beans start breaking down, and you're almost going to get like a wonderful lacquer gravy in with these beans. It's going to taste amazing. So be back here in about an hour and we'll check on them. We're about an hour in on our butter beans. We're just gonna give them a little stir, check them out. Starting to, this is why
Smells good.
It smells wonderful. The bones are starting to pull back, or the meat's pulling back real nice on the bones on those ham hocks. These beans are starting to look good. What we're gonna do now is, that's why I said I'll start off with 8 cups of chicken stock. We're gonna go ahead and add some more stock to it. Probably gonna add about 4 more cups. We may need to add more. It's just gonna depend on how long it takes for these beans to get done. So we'll bring this back up to a simmer. At this point, we're not gonna add any more seasoning or anything. It looks real good. It smells excellent. So we're just gonna let it cook. These beans are starting to soften up nice, so you can see they're
Swelling up.
Yep, swelling up. I'm getting happy. We're gonna cover them back up and let them roll. Okay, everybody, so our beans are getting real close to being done here. We're gonna go ahead and pull out, excuse me, these, look at that. These ham hocks that have provided all the flavor we needed for this dish. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna let these cool just a little bit, and we're gonna remove the meat from them. Add a little bit more flavor to the pot. Now we're gonna go ahead and stir it. And you can see it's really starting to thicken up nice. But I just want it just a little bit more, a little bit thicker. So I'm just gonna take some of these beans and we're just gonna smash them and turn them almost into a paste. You see them breaking apart. And what that's gonna do is the starch from those beans are gonna thicken this up real nice. It'll be nice and hearty when we pour them over top of our rice. So we're just gonna let this simmer for just probably about 10 more minutes. Get nice and thick. We got some rice on inside cooking. And we'll plate this up and show you what it looks like after our ham hocks cool down and we throw some of that ham back in there. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's already getting gravy style.
Yep. Okay, so what we're doing here is we got our ham hocks that we used to help flavor our beans. And now all I'm doing is just digging through here and getting some of the meat. There's a lot of good meat in here. You just want to dig out some of the fat and some of the gristle. Just, you got to kind of dig for it, but like that I probably wouldn't use, but you can take off the end there. See how it has like a piece of cartilage almost? You can still use some of that. So just dig through it, get what you can. If you don't want to use any of it, don't use any of it. But I think it adds a little bit extra flavor back into the beans. So that one's pretty well picked. Let's see what this guy has. You can kind of tell right where the meat's at on these. Okay, so we pulled our ham off of the hocks, and we're just gonna put it right back in there. We kind of separated a little bit. Got a lot of the fat and the gristle out of it. Then we're just gonna stir it. As you can see, that is getting thick. And at this point, I'm gonna shut it off the heat. And we're gonna wait for the rice to get finished off in there. And we'll show you how we plate this up here in our house. Okay, so our butter beans are done. This is what it should look like. We incorporated the ham from the ham hocks back in there. It's nice and creamy. Here's how I like to prepare it, and it's how Michelle's Graham taught us to eat it. You just put a little bit of rice on the bottom here. And this is a rib sticking meal. I mean, it don't take a whole lot of this and you're gonna be full. It's good home cooking. make my buddy Bill up a plate. Pour that on. Get some of that ham. Just enough to cover up that rice. Now, at this point, you can add hot sauce if you want. You don't have to. I like hot sauce on mine. We're gonna go over here and do a little taste test on it. Okay, we're here. We're gonna give this butter beans and rice a try. Personally, I'm putting some Texas Pete on mine. I know Bill probably don't want nothing hot.
I'm going raw dog.
Raw dog. We're gonna give this a shot.
Sure.
Mix in a little bit of that rice. I'm gonna get a little piece of that ham in there. Good. Nice smoky.
Yeah.
Real creamy. Beans are cooked perfect.
Yeah.
Good. Abby did a fabulous job on the rice.
Ah.
But this turned out really good. I enjoy it. You can do it with, you can do red beans and rice, or you can do butter beans and rice. It all tastes great. Just instead of in your red beans, put sausage instead of ham. That's all. We appreciate you watching.
Make sure you check out these other videos. We'll see you next week.
Get you some.
Good. You like it?
Yeah.